Welcome to the Lost Lowdown with podcast 189. I
Redo.
couldn't even read that. I was reading and it said it wrong. The podcast 189. Okay, ready?
Yes,
That was the first time I've ever messed up.
I know, right?
Right?
For the
That's what
blooper
we'll say.
reel, it's gonna be short.
Hashtag bloopers. It's gonna be short. It's that one thing. Are you satisfied? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to the Lost Lowdown podcast 189 with your hosts Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Hey, we are back continuing our season 6 commentary series with episode 605 Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Because when you need to see where you're going, the thing
Lighthouse.
you need, maybe if you're at sea, is a lighthouse
You need a house with a light in
with
it.
a light at the top. Watch out for
This
that
is not
lighthouse.
the movie with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I quit then. I want to talk about that. You mean episode 605 of Lost wasn't that movie?
No.
Good, because that would be a frightening world if somehow that were possible.
That would be like the episode 8 of Lost.
The episode 8? What do you mean?
Like from Twin Peaks season 3.
Oh,
You know,
yes. The black and white.
It's just like
craziness.
suddenly in black and white, and
Yeah.
like it's about this like other island.
Oh, man.
The connection is unclear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Is that Sarah Palmer? What? Okay.
We'll never know.
Fuck thing? Judy? I don't know.
No, Judy. Oh, no.
Why?
Don't get me started on Twin Peaks.
Why are the Woodsmen
So-
here? Yeah, anyway.
So Lost.
So Lost. Yeah. Lighthouse. It's time
Lighthouse.
for the Lighthouse. You know, we talked about that last week because we learned about the cave.
Mhm.
And Lighthouse is like the cave, but like way better, basically. Because it like does things, and the writing is much neater and better organized in terms of numbers. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's almost like they were written by two different people.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like that, and yet somehow not.
Yet somehow the show won't let us have that.
That was too hard for some reason. No, Jacob has a cave too. Shut up.
This is Jacob's cave.
Okay, fine. God, why does Jacob have to do everything?
Listen, he's got the cabin, he's got the foot statue, he's got the cave, now he's got the lighthouse. Everything is his.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, there's no like man in black hidey hole. Like all he does is just move in on Jacob's shit. It's weird.
Yeah, he gets nothing of his own.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
So so I remember this episode. The biggest thing is, of course, that I remember is the lighthouse, is the reveal about how Jacob brought them to the island in whatever way that means. But I remember that being the big thing, and that's it.
So I definitely remember that, and I would say that is probably the biggest thing in this episode. Yeah, I'll buy that. However, there is another very notable element of this episode that I remember, which is what happens in the Flash sideways. Do you happen to remember that part?
Oh, I do not. Is this what happens in the Flash sideways?
This is what I would say, aside from the Desmond stuff, which like, fuck that, whatever, like fine. Is like
this
the most
is Jack. Okay.
Yes.
So Jack and his fake son.
There it is. The fake son. Yeah. I consider that to be probably the most radical thing that they did with the Flash sideways. Because I feel like with the other characters, it was, what I would call like a soft rebranding. Like, okay, like it's a little different, but Locke's still working at the box company. Hurley's still like owning the box company and winning lottery and blah, blah, blah. Kate's still arrested by the marshal and on the run. Claire's still giving her baby up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? It's all like pretty gentle like twist.
I have one explanation for everything you're saying.
What they were doing before. But in Jack's case, like they definitely made a what I would call a
Mhm.
much more extreme change in terms of like giving him a whole like,
Yeah.
sideways boy who like only exists
Never
like
use that phrase again.
in this world. And it obviously serves a purpose, but it does like raise some questions that
Mhm.
really wouldn't be there because as far as I know, of course I can't account for everyone, but every other like major character, um, comes from a real world analog.
Mhm.
Strange thing about this fake son is that like there was no such person. So it's
Yeah.
like an entirely fabricated being, almost like a holodeck thing or something. And
Or
it's
a
like
tulpa,
and he
perhaps?
just or a tulpa, exactly. Yeah, it's like he just kind of disappears at a certain point and goes back to the
Yeah.
Black Lodge or
I
something.
so there's one major reason why I think they were forced down this path and why it's like you're saying it, which is a good observation, like it stands out from how the other characters are being presented in the Flash Sideways, and I'll let you guess the main reason why they went down this road
Oh God, I
versus
have no idea.
versus
I was in
versus
suspense, and now I have to guess.
yeah, versus what would be the more obvious thing for Jack to be dealing with in the Flash Sideways. But there's a reason that I know that they can't deal with the thing they want to ordinarily deal with. It's sort of
Is it because Christian's dead?
that's why.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically, he should be in a Flash Sideways dealing with his dad,
Right, but they
but they
killed. They
can't
still have him
show.
dead.
Yeah, and the other just production reason of them not wanting to confuse, Christian Shepherd, and they have to be careful where he shows up because
Right.
sometimes he's Man in Black when he shows up.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
And I think the
Yeah.
other part to that is because is for what they want to do at the end of the show when Christian actually does show up to talk to
Right.
Jack.
They save when they save it, it has a bigger impact.
Yeah, so because
If he
I
had just been there the whole time, it would have been different.
yeah, I think Jack would ordinarily be trying to work out his daddy issues with his dad and
Right.
not, oh,
His
I'll have
fake
a
son.
fake son and somehow because that wasn't his issue.
Right.
Now, what they could have tried to do, which it would have been too late at this point, is to say he, because he had sort of no interest in Aaron when he was with Kate, and even though that's his like nephew or his
Mm-hmm.
nephew, yeah, and
Yeah.
it would have been interesting if somehow they could have said Jack was actually interested in raising Aaron as a way to deal with his daddy issues. But then
Yeah.
the stuff that happened with that plot prevented it, right? But then now in this Flash Sideways, he's going to try again. Like maybe he has some guilt for not being there for Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. So maybe that could have all kind of worked together, but they didn't ever really make him seem like he cared about Aaron that way, so they can't really do that at this point.
Yeah, no. No, it's weird. It does seem like that's a natural way to go, and it is totally bizarre that they avoided that. They could even like yeah, well, no, I guess that would be awkward, but yeah, I think uh it's like the Claire and Aaron stuff is entirely encompassed in Kate space.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's in the Kate quadrant.
yeah, the Kate and Jack cares about Kate, no
Yes.
doubt, but not so much about Claire or
Not,
Aaron,
no,
which is kind of
no. His
strange.
actual family.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a bit weird. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Kate's like whole thing and he's just like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
no big deal. Like, okay, you can deal with that, Kate. Like, I'm just here for you." Like, okay. Like, yeah, it's very strange. It's like it's right there for them to turn the daddy issues towards Aaron, but they really don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They save it for this fake person, which is yeah, that's strange. I never really even thought about that. That was actually huge potential. In a way, like it makes a way more sense for Jack to have like this connection to Aaron than it does Kate. Like Kate's issues didn't really have to do with
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm.
in such a direct and obvious way. It was more of a stretch really to have Kate do it, and so it's almost like they fumbled that. It's like, yeah, they had a particular arc they wanted Jack to go down. There's no room for Aaron or Claire in that, and
Mm-hmm.
so they just like wrote that stuff out. It's like, yeah, that was a mistake apparently. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. It's a good. I almost want it to be Aaron in the Flash Sideways, but like, well, I was just thinking like that can't work because Aaron's still a baby, like in
Mm-hmm.
utero, as it were.
Oh
So
yeah, at
you
this point, yeah.
you can't really like, if you're gonna go back to that, like you would have to
Mm-hmm.
like seriously retcon the Claire story as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, since they're stuck with that, it's like you're right. They just wrote themselves into a corner where the only
Mm-hmm.
way he could deal with that issue is by fabricating something.
Yeah.
So they just did that.
It's like, why not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do it, Alexa, now. I do the same thing with my Google. I was like, hey, Google, set a timer. No, seriously, do it.
Yeah, timers don't listen sometimes.
Oh, we're living in the future with our voice
Such a
assistants.
handy way to set a timer when it listens.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So those are the. Yeah, you're right. So the sun thing with Jack. That's the other big thing I remember from this episode. Um. But yeah, I'm curious. I don't remember it being great. Like I don't have like some memory of this being a great episode. I do, but yeah, the big reveal about the lighthouse. I'm curious to see how that plays out. And doing this rewatch here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. General like, okay, like, I'm ready to be like corrected or to completely lose this impression, because really like we've only watched like 3 episodes technically, the first one being a two-parter.
Uh huh.
But I have actually felt so far that the Flash Sideways stuff, for all of its pointlessness and kind of arbitrariness and whatever, is somehow like a bit more successful than the on island stuff.
Mm.
Um, which is weird for me because I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
really thought that was true, but I just found the Flash Sideways scenes to be a bit more compelling in a strange way, like, whereas it feels like the island stuff is kind of falling flat.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I wonder if it's because we know where the on island stuff is heading. Like almost nothing in that storyline is heading anyplace interesting anytime soon.
Right. Or ever, but yeah.
Or ever. I was trying to be gracious. I was trying to be
We're
gracious.
still waiting.
Still wait. Hey, 20 years later, maybe there'll be some extra episode. Um. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's so. I think that's part of it, where it's just and everything's just kind of tedious, and I'm really ready to groan next episode for Sundown. I'll never forget that feeling
Oh,
when Locke walks in. Is like, hey, your leader's dead. Follow me, or what
yeah.
else you gotta do?
It's
Like,
so
and they're
bad.
like, oh, cool. We have nothing else to
It's
do with
so
their time,
bad.
so cool.
And what for me, what is still like my most like frustrating moment is like, and I still hold a grudge against that actor who plays Lennon for delivering that
Uh,
line that isn't his
mm-hmm,
fault.
mm-hmm,
But every time I see him, I think about him coming in and just like
mm-hmm.
ruining an
Yeah,
entire like
yeah.
sort of like mythology plot element with just like one quick line before he dies. Like,
Yeah, there's that, the quote, "Don't shoot the messenger," and it's like, I
yeah,
see why that's a quote because it seems like it's totally his fault.
definitely. Definitely. It's
Yeah,
like,
he
what are you talking about? Oh, you're
yeah.
dead?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the extra part is, like, he ruins it, but then doesn't stick around. It's like
Yeah, he
someone
doesn't
who,
have to
like,
answer
ruins
for it.
it.
It's actually worse. Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like you're having a party and then, like, your neighbor walks in your house and goes, like, "Shut this down. Stop having," and then, leaves, it's like
Yeah.
They just ruined a thing that like they're not invested in
They
any
don't have to
way.
deal with the
So
consequences. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like, the only what are you talking about? God,
Yeah,
you're just
he was the only thing keeping him from being out of here or there, maybe.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Then what was all that fucking yeah. No,
Can't wait.
that was just such an annoying moment. And yeah, the whole like torture machine
Mm,
uh of measuring the good and the evil and like give him the poison and he has to take the poison and that whole the Claire stuff. I think we're gonna get a bit more of that in this episode. It's
mm-hmm.
just such a ah I I do think that overall for me personally, at least so far, again, I'm ready to be corrected as we dive into like TDM Central, which is after this, because it's bad now, but man, when they're sitting around whittling and stuff,
The
it's like,
whittling.
wow, they
Yeah.
have no idea what they're doing. They're just like, okay, you just
Mm-hmm.
sit here for a while before like
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen. It's so bad. But I actually still do feel like I prefer it to a lot of the stuff on Island in season 5 because
Mm,
that stuff was even what can I say? It's like it was bad in all the same ways, but somehow worse because I don't know, because it was Dharma, because it really didn't matter at all. I don't know, maybe just the connection with the deeper elements, like going back on the show makes it feel like it has a bit
mm,
more weight even if it
mm-hmm.
ultimately doesn't pan out. I'm not really sure why, but I do actually prefer this stuff even though it's still not working.
Hmm.
It feels like a slight step up to me from the like dealing with like Horace and like
Mm-hmm.
Radzinski and just
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Ugh. Yeah, fun times. Yeah,
Lesser of two evils, I guess,
we'll
is what
have
I'm
to see
saying.
how it plays out when we get to the whittling part of the show. But I,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I can't really speak for that part because I always, I mean, I remember even back then thinking that the early part of the season has more momentum,
yeah.
and it's really once they destroy the temple that like it just feels like everything comes to a standstill
Mm-hmm.
until like we get to blowing up the sub and like the final showdown kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's really just sitting around, and Widmore is like such a waste of time.
Oh,
Widmore
jeez.
stuff is like the dharma of this season, I think.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Here's some ancillary characters that we created for this season to fill some time.
Yeah,
And what
yeah.
was it? Darby, what's her name?
Zoe,
Lucy, Zoe. Yeah.
Zoe and Seamus.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh man.
It's not good. It's not good. The 316 passengers who were killed off screen by an unknown
Hmm.
entity and don't matter at all. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's one of two suspects. No one cares enough to find out
No one
who.
cares. That's so amazing. Like mass murder, no one cares. Like, wow. I can't believe we got there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Like it was frustrating when like the original OG survivors of A15 all died time traveling,
Hmm.
but at least we knew it was the others who killed him. It was
Yeah.
very clear.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, the others killed him, fine. It's not great, but at least there's a story there.
Hmm.
It's just like they introduce a mystery, and Zoe's all like, "I'm the only survivor, and they killed us all." And it's like, but then she's lying. But then it's like, okay, so what happened? Shut up.
Yeah, because
Never
it's like,
mind.
why are they playing this game of like who's the worst person, Widmore or Man in Black? Like, why are they equivocating but trying to make us go, well, we want you to sympathize with Man in Black and his trying to get off the island, but also Widmore, maybe he's redeemable. He's hey,
Right.
Jacob's in him and he's doing
Right.
this thing, so maybe he's good. And it's like, why are we waffling between like which one gets the blame for the mass murder? Like, just tell us who did it. I don't like either of them. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
none of
Yeah.
these people are
Seriously.
heroes. Like, and you can't be
Right.
like, oh, he's gonna kill Sun and Jin but then like, well, but he didn't kill 0 passengers, so that's fine. Like, huh? Like, come on, who cares? Pile up all the murder on Man in Black. It's fine if he's evil
Right.
incarnate. Like, it's so. Yeah, just there was there's so much equivocating about, which is that Lindelof thing of like wanting the audience to sort of decide between the options, but like
Right.
I just wish they told us flat out, yeah, I was really evil. Like, whatever, like,
Yeah.
just by the end of it, just like, make a case, like
Yeah.
make a statement about what happened and not just leave it ambiguous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they could have, if they wanted to, they could have gone down the road of having Widmore be a secondary villain,
Mm-hmm.
where like he comes and he's against the Man in Black, but that doesn't mean he's a good guy automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they almost wanted to do that, or at least like lightly gestured in that direction,
Yeah.
but there's no follow through there at all. He's just like killed off very casually, and it's like, yeah, he didn't matter. Like the only reason he's there is to bring Desmond. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's really all, the only purpose he serves in the end. He accomplishes nothing. It's such a waste of time, and they don't get anything out of it. Like if they actually had him do something of interest, like
Mm-hmm.
and be a real antagonist or full redemption, either
Yep.
one of those I think I could have lived with. But this like half-ass, like maybe he's redeemed, maybe he's the mass murderer
Mm-hmm.
still,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like what.
Yeah, and I think they could have really re-engineered the dynamic between Desmond and Widmore. They could have had Desmond be the one to want to come back to the island. Again, we've talked about this before. Like his character arc is done once he gets
Yeah,
Penny and little
yeah,
baby Charlie, and
yeah,
so but like why what if Jacob had appeared to him and said you need to go to the island and save your friends?
yeah,
You won't have the afterlife you want. And not that he would really say this, but like
right,
it's more than just your life here that's at stake, or something generic, right? That he could like sort of kind of have an idea about. Then when he gets to the island and starts getting shocked, like he can actually understand what he means. But like it would have been great if like Desmond was sacrificing his self and the pain to get shocked with electromagnetism, right? Versus Widmore just holding him captive and doing it against his will. Like it would have been way more interesting for Desmond to be like, if Desmond had to convince Widmore to bring him and the equipment, right, or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, Widmore, if you ever want to see your daughter again, this is what you need to do. Like, you need to take me to the island, and we have
yeah,
this thing we have to do, or whatever, and make Desmond an active character instead of
right,
just reactive."
right,
And then you can have Widmore going not like fully redeemed, right? He still is trying to do trying to find a means to an end. He's helpful to the extent he can get something out of it. Cool, great. So he can still stay Widmore, but he can have the plot function of being helpful instead of being an antagonist completely, right? And then at a certain point you can have him go back, be like, okay, cool. I can't get what I want out of this. Now I can just be Widmore. Like I haven't changed my character. So now I can be an antagonist if you want to be. Yeah, I killed their Jared passengers. They were in my
mm-hmm,
way. Like that's in sync with who I am because I haven't changed.
right,
Instead of this the way they present it where like off screen he has some redemption because Jacob came to him, but like they don't really flesh that out through the course of his on screen time.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um
it's really weak. The other thing I like about your idea is that it makes Desmond care
mhm.
about the island and also about something besides just, Penny and fuck everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when they're going to center the end of the show on the bonds between the characters.
Yep.
Like it just rubs me the wrong way that like I
Yeah.
don't
It
even
would
believe
have
Desmond
he
cares
would
about
have
any of it.
he would have earned his passage to the church scene at the end if he would have done this. If he
Yeah.
would have come back, if he would have sacrificed the happiness that he had finally attained and the risk that for not only the losties but like some idea of a longer term eternal spiritual happiness, whatever,
Yeah.
and I think that would have really put the icing on the cherry cake for for his character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but even when he's helping,
Yep.
he's
It's a
just doing it.
selfish. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
weird selfish helping.
It's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the cave and I'll be with Penny
Yeah,
again."
yeah.
It's like, that's it. Like, there's no,
It's
like
like, "Hey, can I help you carry your groceries? I just want the workout. Like, I
yeah,
don't actually
yeah.
wanna help you,
Yeah.
alleviate your burden. I just wanna pump my biceps, or something." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's like, "Huh, yeah, so I can't really thank you for this because you're
Yeah.
not in it for
This is
me.
actually for me. This
This
isn't
is
for
for
you.
me." Exactly. Oh, yeah, this is a me thing.
I'm not interested in helping. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. It would really make me like the character more if he actually cared. But
Yeah.
even even the Flash Sideways stuff, it's like it's like, oh, so he can be with Penny. Like he has to like wake them all up so they can like walk through the thing. Like it still doesn't even seem like he cares about any of them that much.
Mhm.
To be granted admission when Miles, who spent 3 years working with Sawyer,
Wow.
isn't allowed. Like it's just I
Yeah.
can't. I don't understand.
Mhm.
Other than just like you know he like he was on the show longer, but like
It's that
fuck that.
call sheet privilege.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Higher on the call sheet
Exact, but it's like Shannon and Boone had got in, and those fuckers were on the show way
yeah.
less than Miles was. Like,
Mhm.
what the hell? Like,
Miles is gonna have an afterlife with, and then maybe also and then don't forget am I naming people? I'm sorry, I thought I was naming
sorry,
all the
I didn't
characters in
hear it.
his
Maybe
life.
did you cut out? What happened?
No, yeah, I remember he had such a good relationship with and then you can never forget the friendship he had with and then all those scenes where he really cared about yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really
Mhm.
bad. Like,
Or
I
maybe they would say he gets an afterlife with the science crew. Like he came on the freighter with them, so like Ben and not Ben, Daniel and
right.
Charlotte, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
oh
yeah.
maybe
Frank.
maybe and Fred like maybe that's who his church is filled with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm laughing because it
yeah.
shouldn't work that way,
The
but
captain, maybe. He
Captain.
was all right, Captain Galt. Come on.
Yeah, he was great for like those two scenes.
He did the best he could with
He had
yeah,
no
very
idea what
little.
was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, yeah, season 6, man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's definitely a mess. But yeah, I don't know, like I really did enjoy like some of those Flash Sideways scenes. I was really
Mhm.
surprised that like there is some interesting quality to like reconnecting the characters in these old but new
Yeah.
ways. Like I just think I kind of almost feel like I get into what they're trying to do there.
Mhm.
Uh, and maybe part of it is that they don't have the weight of expectations
Mm.
that the island plot has, so they're
Yeah, that
kind of
makes sense.
free to play around with it and do stuff like whatever they want.
Yeah, because
And
there's not some overall plot thing that's happening in those scenes pushing it
right,
toward some ending. It's just yeah,
yeah,
and I think you're right because I think part of it is that the original character flaws and situations that the Flash Highway stuff is dealing with, going back to the original season 1 stuff with these characters, that stuff is all really interesting.
yeah,
Like that stuff still works. And when you have those scenes of the characters just playing out their flaws, that's great classic Lost scenes, like that
yeah,
stuff dramatically just works and it's intriguing and it's interesting. And yeah, I think you're completely right. Like it works coming back to it at this point. You're getting to revisit it. The only problem of course is like eh, these characters don't really get good arcs, so it's
yeah,
like we get to revisit these moments, but we're not actually going to close them out in a satisfying way for basically
right.
almost anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
It's very much in the moment enjoyment. It isn't
mhm.
a like, oh, this is a satisfying story
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
enjoyment, like where it's
yeah.
going. Like, yeah, it doesn't really
The
work on that
scenes are just
level.
working.
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah,
individual scenes. Whereas on the island stuff, it's
yeah.
like both of them aren't working.
Yeah, and I agree. Like that's the stuff I really love about Lost is just the basic scene work. The basic
Yeah,
dramatic scenes are good.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and even yeah, even the stuff that's not about any of the interesting mystery stuff usually plays out really well in the earlier seasons,
yeah,
just whatever the
yeah.
characters are dealing with, it's just written very well and it's interesting to watch this as a scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a good scene can make up for a lot of stuff
Hmm.
that maybe isn't
Chekhov said
working as
that.
well.
It's Chekhov's other famous quote.
Write a good scene and put a gun in it.
Put a gun in it, and then also bring that gun back later, or else it's a bad scene. All right, you want to get into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
All
ready
right,
to
light up
find
your
that
house.
lighthouse.
All right, let's do it. All right, everyone, get your media streamers ready to media stream. Um, however, you're gonna watch this with us, if you're gonna watch with us, and let's light this house up.
Yeah, I want to light that house.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, Lighthouse. Previously on Lost. Uh oh.
Uh-oh. Not a coffin. All these fake others.
Okay, so that first scene was about Jack and his dad.
Right.
So let's see.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's definitely relevant.
Mm-hmm. Then this is Saeed coming back.
What happened, Saeed? We'll never know.
Yeah,
It's a
it
great
is
question.
poison. Why do you want to kill him? We need to kill him because there's a darkness. Okay. Okay, now that's where they left off at that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Annie Oakley.
Jean?
Yeah, that was so weird. She's like, I don't, my head. Like, what was that response? Like, I don't really remember you. I've been
Yeah.
claimed. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's the idea.
All right. We're at the Shepherd home.
Indeed. Apparently Jack's a golfer.
Of course he is. Can't be a doctor and not play golf.
Classic doctor, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this. This was a firestorm controversy here.
What is that? An appendix
The
scar?
appendix scar. Yeah, it
And
was
it's
weird. It's
like,
like out of time. Like he shouldn't have, because that happened on the island. So like, why would he have an appendix scar?
oh, it just means that in this reality, he still had to get his appendix out.
Did it mean that?
I doesn't isn't that the only thing it can mean?
I
What else
don't
would it
know. Can
mean?
it? No, I mean, yeah, it's a good question. I'm actually confused. I thought it was like the cut on his neck, some kind of like carryover from,
Mm,
you know. Okay,
okay, let's see.
here's
Keep
our
talking
answer.
about it. Yeah.
You were 7 or 8. Okay, there's our answer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, but that's like an implanted memory, right? That didn't really happen, quote unquote, whatever that means,
No, no.
right?
Only no,
Okay.
that's this is a flash sideways canon,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Damn it, mom. Gotta go.
Mom,
Oh, we still got this thing.
his big truck.
Yeah. Yeah. This truck is so weird to me.
It's a great character piece for him. There's something about
Yeah.
that like makes it stand out that this is what he chooses to drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike the golf, like it's not the obvious
Mhm.
choice.
Mhm.
Oh no. Fake boy alert.
Uh-oh. He's a real boy. He's just in a fake reality.
Is he real though?
Oh, Jack, looking at his reflection, asking, "Am I real?"
Yeah. Mirror moments.
Mm-hmm. That's how narcissists fell in love with himself.
You're right.
Be careful, Jack.
So beautiful.
This temple should be about me. Oh, geez. David
Except
Lindelof over
leaving.
here.
Yeah, there we go. Honesty is an option.
Why would they? Two honest men with nothing left to say to each other.
Oh no, this is a bad sign right here.
Oh yeah. Whenever you're just like playing games.
Wow. Tic-tac-toe. That's so sad.
And they had to make all those pieces,
Yeah. Yeah. They sat there and fashioned them just so they could play tic-tac-toe. Like
Wow.
they could have at least done like a giant chessboard or checkers or something. Jacob's there.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
God damn it. I forgot Jacob was in this.
Yeah, he's just testing the water. I heard the filter was
I
clogged.
forgot. He's like looking at the water. It's like our chance to have him say something about the water, and he doesn't say a goddamn thing.
Nope.
So annoyed. It's all about how the dirty water happened. That's not it.
Someone I invited.
Right. Yeah, so I think this is probably the biggest suggestion that he did send Widmore, if you're doubting that. Since like no one else comes to the island.
Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh no.
It's gonna turn into a standard preteen drama now. Is he preteen? I'm bad at aging kids.
He looks like he's like 13 or 14.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Tween, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad, that's what you do with books.
Read. Is this his room or is this a hotel?
It does look like a hotel.
It looks like a fucking hotel. And why are they? Okay.
I think this is his place. Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to be his place. The Rolling Stones.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So he's starting off in this reality, having a bad relationship with his son.
Yeah.
Basically being the Christian shepherd here.
Yeah. 100%. Grandmother's house. Does that mean Jack's mom?
Yeah. I think so. Should be.
Yeah, I guess that's logical. Did they say that Juliet is his mother? Does that happen? Or am I crazy?
I think you're crazy, right? Did
Okay.
that happen?
I feel like I remember that there's a reveal about the mother, and I want to say it's right. Juliet.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
Which makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't. I don't know what they were thinking. I might be wrong. Maybe there's just some there's something there.
There's something, yeah, I forgot.
But it only made me sound British.
But again, isn't maybe the Flash Sideways is supposed to be awful so that they don't stay there and they find each other and leave. Like
I do feel like maybe that does seem like part of the idea.
Because if it's idealistic, then they wouldn't want to leave.
Right.
Don't keep me in suspense, Jack.
Why don't we just cut to it? That's easier.
Yeah, let's cut. That's gonna be a cut. A cut too.
Ouch.
Very much ouch.
Does it have to be a bear trap, Claire?
Now, I want to ask how much of this Claire is Rousseau storyline doesn't work is because she's Emily DeRavin's just not pulling it off. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of not fitting for some reason.
Right. Right. Yeah, sometimes it is hard to tell the line between what the actor is doing and what the
Hmm.
writing is. I
Because
do
she's
feel like
so
the
far
writing
from
is kind of
anything.
weak, but I do also think the performance is coming off weird. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it
Yeah,
was
we just
like
had no point of reference for her like this, and I think
yeah,
that makes it really off-putting
yeah, yeah.
because we don't understand how she got there.
Right. Yeah, and it's all very sketchy what they say.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think that part of it I think is a failure on the writing end.
So just I remember this being a thing that keeps happening this part of the season where we're always in the bowels of the temple,
Yeah.
which I thought was interesting. But yeah, just more mythology here about the building and the writing and
Right.
hidden trapdoors and stuff,
Hidden
secret entries.
doors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
this is
Jacob,
definitely a clue.
there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like he can't see Jacob. So like
Hmm.
that's why I thought it was weird when Sawyer could.
Yeah, but
But
that was
maybe it's
little
a
boy
thing where
Jacob.
like the candidates can see him. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
Someone? Okay. Ooh.
Why do you do the thing you told me to do?
Ouch.
All right, well. But do you know?
I know. I feel like you don't know either. Come on, Jacob.
He just knows you don't want to know. Yeah, he has an idea. I wish he lived up to moments like that. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think the writing and like Mark Pellegrino really sell those moments where you really think Jacob is so cool,
Yeah.
but he was so MIA for like all the important things that it's like
Yeah.
it's hard to give him it's hard to be it's hard for those things to really feel like they want it to feel.
I agree. Yeah.
Like imagine if yeah, by the end, man, Jacob's like, yeah, I always said I wasn't, I was hands off, but I lied. Like,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah.
they could tie in like when he, the montage where he touches everybody, in the real
Right.
world and but then
Yeah, yeah,
actually point
yeah.
out that like yeah, he did realize at a certain point that he was going to lose this whole battle if he
Right.
didn't intervene
Right.
and then that would be aligned to what he's doing right now where he's like intervening the shit out of things. And
Yeah.
when it's just with this, it just feels contrived, right? If
Yeah.
versus being like, oh, this is the thing he's always
It's
been
just
doing.
like in the past, like this would have been a dream or
Yeah,
something, but
yeah. I think
now
Jacob
it's
should have
just
taken credit for the Losties getting back to the present from the 70s timeline with
yeah, I
Jughead.
agree. I
He
agree.
should have
Yeah.
taken credit for that I saved you guys and brought you back here for the end game. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like
It would make sense. He
otherwise
does say they're coming, so he
that
seems to know about it, but
yeah, yeah.
that doesn't quite mean that he
Hmm.
actually did the thing.
Yeah, he should have taken credit for that. Then that means like everything from that point on, he's involved in like what's happening with it.
Right. Oh God.
Yikes. That's not a baby. I love that. Got to put that back.
Yeah. She's gonna know something's weird.
Oh, I thought he was dead. No, no, that's great. Also, the other thing that's weird is like who was she practicing these skills on, right? Like everything she's doing here,
The
you know,
others, I can only assume those are the only people that it could
she's
possibly
just
be.
like tracking others and beating them up, and
I think that's what they say.
yeah, okay, because she's trying to find Aaron. Okay,
Exactly. But
yeah, that's the most hilarious line in all of Lost. Like now, or like later now. Has she even acknowledged who Jin is?
I think she said his name when they first
Like
met it, but
she remembers him. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, not a lot.
Okay.
It's been pretty minimal.
Backpack.
Oh no, K-Pack. Just washing my socks. Oh, filling a water bottle, I guess. All right.
All right. Yeah, I don't need that.
Who? Her? Something. Just
Hmm.
let's say something.
This is so weird, man. This whole Claire claiming something happened is so weird.
It's real vague. Like they said something happened. Okay. What am I supposed to do with that, Jack?
Oh, so he didn't know where Claire was, just something happened to her. Okay,
Right.
so he's not gonna be able to help her with location.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
weird that basically from our perspective, Claire has gone, slightly batty because she's in a delusion or in some reality believes that the others have her baby and she's doing whatever
Right.
it takes to survive and get her baby back. Okay, but on the other hand, they want to tell us that that is being claimed. It's like they're
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trying to say that claiming or what happened to her is an accurate description of for her behavior, and
Yeah.
I don't understand how those two
At the
things are
same
linked.
time, she's acting kind of like Rousseau,
Yeah.
who actually wasn't claimed. That was the whole point of her story.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's
But also
it
the sickness, right? So it's now it gets muddled with whatever the claiming of the sickness.
right,
Right.
right,
So maybe
exactly.
Russo got the sickness but wasn't claimed or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. Reading a will never goes well.
Dear Jack. You do not have what it takes. Sincerely, Christian Shepherd.
Wow, they're gonna mention it.
Wow. Okay, what is she doing? Is she? Is this her torture kit she's
She's heating up
sterilizing?
some hot pokers. Is that the idea?
Heating up some hot pokers.
I guess they're cold pokers.
Yeah, no, they're hot pokers, whether they're hot or not. Well, I don't like that plan. Oh, I see. These are helpful tools.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah, that's her Annie Oakley right there. Oh
Definitely.
man.
This definitely doesn't read to me as possessed by evil.
Nope. Nope. Like
So
all she
yeah.
needs to do is wash her hair and she's
Yep.
normal Claire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, your friend's your father.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, I got two told me's.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
how
And they
much
were the
more
same
true?
person,
How much more
so
true can a thing
that's kind of
be?
awkward.
Two
Also,
people
your
told
father was
me.
dead, so who do you
Yeah.
think that was?
Also, you left your baby in the woods. Do you remember that? And isn't your father the one who told you to leave him?
Exactly. He literally said that in front of her. Like,
Yeah.
Aaron's where he's supposed to be, and that's not here.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take that shit back. Like, yeah, I think they fucked this up.
Yeah, I don't buy it, guys. Great horror music. That was, I saw what you were going for, but
But they don't really go all the way, even with the writing. Like
yeah,
Claire is like half normal.
yeah, yeah. Which is to say,
Like
normal.
even the ranting about the baby was mild compared to what she did
Yeah.
in the old days, and
Yep.
that was when she was normal.
Yeah, and they did kidnap her.
And they did.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense what she's doing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's weird. Like,
So
and
now,
I
so
love.
now it's on Dogan to explain how he believes
Yeah,
that she has been claimed. That's that. So now the court shall hear his side.
I think his only explanation is that they captured her and he hooked her up to the evil machine, and she failed it like Say did. I think that's all
Yes.
that happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yikes.
yeah,
There's the man in black and his mom.
that whole thing.
Jeez,
That's
they have no idea.
definitely what that was supposed to be.
Don't have to go that far back. Yeah, that's an explanation.
Added to Hurley's wrong theories.
Mm-hmm. It could have happened.
It could have. It was a theory. I think that's why they
Yeah.
put it in there. Little meta moment.
No, the writers told me about it. Yeah, why would he lead me here? Why? When it was Man in Black and not actually Christian Shepherd.
Yeah, I don't know that that adds up either. I love that they ended on that. Like that's enough. Like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on now. I really wish they had
It's a
addressed
great.
Christian on the island in season 6.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a hotel room because he doesn't stay there very much. That's my read.
It just looks like a hotel. I can't tell. There's something about the design that makes it is. But yeah, if he is he just in like a fancy apartment? Is that why it looks like a
Yeah,
hotel?
yeah. I think
He
that's
probably
yeah.
has a housekeeping and
It's just yeah, it just
yeah,
looks kind of cold and impersonal.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Why did he wait so long to call? Oh, I guess he was waiting to see when he came back. And he didn't come back. Okay,
Yeah.
figured that one out. This is like Christian Shepherd knocking on Claire's mother's door.
Definitely. Of course it's a rabbit.
White rabbit, sort of.
Sort of.
David doesn't exist, Jack. It was all in your mind.
See, like this room is like way more like an actual room.
This is a person that lives here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give him points for thinking about the set design.
Yeah. Always into music.
Yeah, right. I forgot like Jack's like a piano like prodigy or
Yeah,
something,
that's
just
right.
unrealized.
Yeah,
I
that's why
remember
he's
that
such a
season
good
3 stuff
surgeon.
where he's just like knocking out some pretty hard shit. Like it's no big deal. Like when's the last time you played, Jack? What the hell?
Yeah, I think that's why he's such a good surgeon. He's got that dexterity, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's related.
Yeah, I think it's something similar they tried to do with Dan, right? He had this gift of
You're right.
music, but he was forced into the sciences.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're never going to be a musician.
It's not ordained for you, son. I know the future. I mean the
Be-
past.
because I read your journal from the
But I
future.
shan't never tell you. Walking.
Old school.
Very season one, man.
Yeah, that's definitely what he means. Good times. Really?
Compared to the other times, probably yeah.
I guess, relatively speaking. But there were a lot of dire situations in those good times. That's a simple story.
Hmm.
That one's so straightforward. I don't think I can beat it.
Hmm. Oh, Jack, you failed again. He's almost there.
I know.
Like he had the self realization to go, oh, maybe I'm man broken and I need the island to fix me, but then it didn't happen by now. So he's like,
Yeah.
poor me, I was wrong again.
Yeah. What the fuck? How did we not see this?
5-star lighthouse. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jack.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice one line
So,
explanation.
so we get.
You weren't looking for the four-toe statue either, but you saw that. But okay, whatever. Magic.
That one's harder to miss.
Yeah. Well, you did have him like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the picking our people off part.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see. We're supposed to believe he's gonna chop his head off. What?
Yeah, that's the Dogen hot poker torture thing.
Oh.
This is your second last chance. Yeah, right. Jin
Yeah.
actually knows what
I was
happened.
gonna say, like, why hasn't he spoken up?
He really should have.
For you though. Oh yeah, Air's not a baby anymore. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like she's not aware of the passage of time somehow.
Mm-hmm. If she's claimed, she kills him. All right. Well, that's it. Yep. That's how that
Yeah.
storytelling works.
Yeah.
So the question is, so she's just what now? Like that's like just still don't get the claiming. I see its
Yeah.
effects. I just don't know what it is.
I agree. I don't think they do either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody does. I'm not even sure it's a thing.
It's got to be a thing. They keep talking about it.
Just because they're talking about it doesn't mean it's a thing.
How can you talk about something that's nothing?
Well, should be a cop, Jack.
Kicking doors down.
Door kick. Right. I forgot about
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Candidates.
Oh no. Just in time.
Yeah. You missed the first part. The first part was the best part, but whatever. Fine.
It's all about the ending, though, right?
Yeah, no, you would think so. The actor's not doing that part. That's what that cutaway means.
Uh-huh.
There we go. See? Nice trick.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's playing piano. How could
So
he
easy to
not?
look like you're playing piano.
I know.
That's how you know he's done. Weird kid.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That reminds me of what's her name from Watchmen.
Oh, that's right. It's Dogan's son. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. They threw this in.
Huh?
He doesn't exist. What does time even mean here?
I don't know why that happened.
It's
Why?
definitely a weird moment. It suggests that there's some weird conspiracy going on that is kind of misleading.
Yeah, there's a lot that's weird.
Like Dogen's line, like it's hard to watch and be unable to help. It's almost like he knows what's going on, but I don't really think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just working through his shit like everybody else. I don't know why he's doing it in LA, but
He's not here yet. Wow, they wrote a lot down.
yeah, people freeze frame that.
108.
Pulling chains.
I would have liked to
Nice
know
chain.
what it was on to start with. Like
Yeah,
the last thing it was on, you know?
yeah. I remember people trying to figure that out actually. Like they
Mm.
took a picture of like where, like a screenshot of where it was, and like they tried to
Mm-hmm.
like it was the whole thing. Actually, didn't we see? Or am I crazy? I'm getting a flash of a name. Maybe we'll see it. We'll have
Okay.
to because it's about to get destroyed. I'm trying to think of what the name was. Ah, I can't come up with it. I'll have to wait for it. But yeah, it isn't where it started. It's the name on 108. It's like I don't know. I can't come up with it. Oh, I almost have it. It's not Widmore. It's like McCutcheon. It's not McCutcheon. Uh,
Hmm.
it's weird that it's showing that.
It's weird that it's yeah, it's weird that it's
Like
this childhood home.
that's not where he is or was recently.
But this is the point that he's been watching them since they were
Yeah,
kids.
you're right. That's why they want to show a childhood home. He's right there,
But
man.
also could he like could he only just see the outside of your house or can he get inside views? Oh, here we
Wallace.
go. This is the fun Jack.
Yep.
He's on
Yep.
edge. He's gonna
Gets
break
that
something.
gets that look on his face.
Oh man.
It's a nice telescope, Hurley.
Yep.
Watch what it can do. This is
Yeah, I
definitely
guess this
shoot the
is coming
messenger.
from oh Jack. This is what Locke would do.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess it's coming off of the fact that he was like, "Hey, I was broken. I came back to the
Yeah.
island, but I was dumb enough to think it had anything to do with me." And now this, he's back towards like um, the other side of thinking. So he's up. So he's extra upset
Right.
because he had just resigned himself to going, "Yeah, this island is nothing about me."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a head fuck to go back and forth because yeah, Jack is on both sides of that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard you.
Maybe you walked in late and missed the
Yep.
Baptist.
Yep. You care too much about my hobby?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fake son.
You're really pushing the right buttons here. It's almost like you were created for me and my
But
problems.
he said my father didn't want to see me fail, but then he said I don't have what it takes, which would set me up for failure. So I don't know if those words really mesh, but okay. Hmm.
Until I realize you don't exist.
It's
It's gonna be
cold, but
cold as
I've got some
fuck.
cold pizza. But hey, man, like I don't know what you're gonna do with your bike, but I'm driving.
I guess it can
Oh,
probably
he's got a
fit.
truck. I forgot he's got the big truck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
fine with the bike.
So the name on 108 was Wallace. I remembered it. It doesn't
Okay.
matter at all, but I remember like at the time there were so many obsessive theories about like, oh, who's Wallace?
Yeah,
Wallace is
that sounds
coming.
familiar.
As just a throwaway thing. Because like they didn't really show it. Oh, he wouldn't. Okay, so I guess the candidates can't see him.
Yikes. I did what I wanted you to do.
Mm-hmm. I've been
Hmm.
known to do a manipulation or two.
Or maybe he could be told, but I just
Until
think
I'm
I
ready
can't
to
tell
tell him.
him.
Because he's gonna tell him.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. It's like I love that. Sometimes this dude just needs to stare at the ocean. It's just the thing he needs.
Uh-oh. Someone bad. That's really fake.
Yeah, he doesn't care about them.
Wow. Fuck all the others. Unbelievable,
Hey, they're
Jacob.
not candidates.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Like, oh, they're not serving a purpose for you, so they don't matter.
mm-hmm.
Cool. And he's the bad one. All right. Got it.
Why'd you say the truth? What?
Wow.
Wait, now I'm real confused. The others have your baby.
I guess he thinks he has to say that now or he's gonna die. Wow.
Oh,
That's setting her up for a big
that's
disappointment.
hey, that's three told me's. She's got three told
Wow.
me's now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and this
extra
one is
true.
actually a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
For helping me out.
I know. I all right. Let me
Uh-oh.
just wait for this.
Yikes.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
Jen, you're so in over your head, buddy. He's like he's stuck in a tent with a bear
Yeah.
claw with a bear trap wound with those two people. How did he get so lucky?
Yeah, it works out pretty
Wow.
well considering.
Wow, yeah, man. He's really swimming in it right now. Jeez,
Yeah.
Jin. What a place to hit. He's barely navigated not having Claire kill him, and then this guy walks
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Oh my god. Um okay. So
Hmm.
I'm trying so there were like multiple things I wanted to unravel there. Okay, yeah. So the first thing is like general annoyance with what we already talked about, which is like, she was there, she left the baby. Christian said she left the baby. It was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be fine, and then suddenly the story changed. Like that's one thing that like
Mm-hmm.
is kind of bullshit. And the second thing is it's like if it's like, okay, you don't want the others to have your baby. I mean, if Kate like isn't that different from the others having the baby? I mean, shouldn't that be better? I don't know. I mean, like, why are you so pissed? Like, Kate didn't take the baby from you directly, right? Or you would
Well,
have
I
noticed
think that's
that.
maybe what
Like,
she should have said in that scene was if Kate stole him from me, then I'll kill her. Like that
yeah,
makes more sense to me versus just Kate raising him because we know the context that she just found the baby
right,
and needed and they're leaving the island in a hurry.
exactly,
So
yeah,
yeah, it's weird, and so yeah, I don't know exactly what they're going for with this, but yeah, it's super strange where it's like, okay, Dogan's like, hey, Saeed is claimed, and you need to give him the poison to kill him because what's in him is growing stronger. And how do I know this? I know this because this is what happened to your sister because we kidnapped her and we put her in the machine, and it says she was evil. But can I just point out some differences? So, like, number one, like
there's one or two,
Claire was never dead, as far as we know.
right,
Number
yeah,
two, she wasn't revived in the water that
right,
was tainted, right?
yeah.
So,
That
it's
Jacob was inspecting in a tantalizing way that is so
mm-hmm,
annoying.
mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah, and it's like, oh geez, don't get me started on that.
I know. It's like such a tease. Like,
Yeah,
fuck you. We're not saying anything about this, but we will have Jacob look at it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also interesting to point out with this Claire stuff and Saeed stuff is like Jacob's not this whole thing he did in this episode had nothing to do with Saeed being claimed.
Right.
He
Yeah.
That's not
He's
a
just writing
thing.
him off as a lost cause. Whereas in the first episode, like he makes all this effort to get Saeed to the temple in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is there some story going on about like something went wrong with the temple water or something he did? I do wish he would like weigh in on that, but he never
Mm-hmm.
does. It's so frustrating. So the other thing that like didn't I remember it not working for me at the time and just now like it bothered me again is that, initially when she's talking to Jen about Aaron and she's like, the others have my baby and Jen's like, how do you know? And she's like, well, first my father told me and
Uh-huh.
then my friend told me.
Yeah.
So, like, that suggests that she actually thought that her father was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that it's a different person from who her quote unquote friend is, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
distinguishing between them. Like, first of all, like, what happened to your father then? Second of all, like, then, Locke walks in. Jen's like, hey, Locke, it's Locke. She's like, that's not Locke. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what? You know that isn't Locke, but you didn't know that it wasn't your fault. Like, it doesn't really mesh. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. Like, did he just tell you
I think
arbitrarily?
that's what I'm assuming is he just said she's when he showed up as Locke the first time, she's like, Locke? John? And
And
he's
he's
like,
like,
I'm not
I'm not
John.
Locke, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
before that was totally your dad. Like, as soon as you
Yeah.
do that, I feel like all bets are off with like dead people or at least people who shouldn't be there, Like, how does she rationalize that in her head? It makes no sense to me. I know she's supposed to be crazy, but like, she doesn't come across as like a raving lunatic. Like in a way, I feel like Rousseau seemed more unhinged. And so it's like it's just very strange. Like I think they don't connect the elements of
Mhm.
what the character is supposed to be versus the infection, and then incorporating all these elements of the story they already told us, and then the stuff they tell us through exposition of like supposedly what happened, in the
Mhm.
meantime. I just think it
Well,
just
and
doesn't add up.
yeah, and that's the thing too. If Dogan's whole argument is we need to kill Saeed because we know where this is headed and it's a bad place, and then we cut to
Yeah.
Claire, which is supposed to be the example. Like it's not
Yeah.
even that bad,
Exactly.
If she,
If she's doing what Rousseau did, it's like that's
mhm.
not the same as
Yeah, that's
like
the problem is they're
possessed by
conflating.
evil.
They're making her be like Rousseau. So they're trying to get a point with that she's like Rousseau, but then they also want to get a point about claiming, and then those two things are in conflict with each other.
Yeah, yeah, they don't fit. They don't
Because
fit.
you're not clear what, like, someone who's in the position of their child being stolen, right? What the sort of mental degradations that happen because of that level of stress and anxiety and paranoia making you lead to a certain set of behaviors. How does that relate to this whole
Right.
idea of claiming? I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, it seems like they should be able to make a clear distinction between the two to say if if she wasn't claimed, then this would have happened, and it's so that's why I was in that scene when she's about to kill the guy. I'm like, okay, I think playing by their rules, and we're supposed to think she's claimed. She just heard a logical argument about why she should let this guy go, and if she's has some force that's making her bad beyond her normal means, then she should kill the guy. Okay, then she kills the
Right.
guy. So we go, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she's claimed, but like how is that different than her just because on the backside of that, the next part of that scene we come back to, she says she gives a pragmatic answer of why she killed the guy.
Right.
It was him or me. I know these kind of guys. He was
Yeah.
gonna kill me.
And he
I
did say like let me go and I'll snap her neck. So
exactly, yeah. So now we're back. Okay, well, oh no, I thought she is claimed. That's why she did this bad thing. It's like, oh no, now it's just because she was being pragmatic and reasonable.
right.
Oh wait, I thought she had mental health issues. Oh, I thought she was claimed. Like, which
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah, it's all over the
And
place.
eventually the place where this is going is she just shakes it off and leaves. And it's fine.
Oh man, that's great.
So it's just like it clearly isn't that powerful if it's even a thing, and it's
If
really
it's
hard
even
to
a thing.
believe that
And
it's a
so
thing.
that's the problem is now it's okay. Then what is the machine testing? Because he put two people on
Exactly.
it, and they both were negative, the negative or whatever. So what is it actually testing, and how does it has any relation to Man in Black?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see someone pass the test.
Mm-hmm.
I just it's a lot to put on it if we're supposed to believe that it's a test
Mm-hmm.
for this thing that we're also going to give other reasons why the characters are behaving. Like I think there was definitely a key difference with so like I really felt like um with Rousseau
Mm-hmm.
and Robert, it seemed more straightforward that um you know uh that he was claimed by evil. Like it
Mm-hmm.
felt more realistic because in that scenario, he's just about to like shoot her in cold blood after like talking her down, and she just happened to have like predicted that and taken out the firing
Yeah.
pin, so it doesn't happen. But it's like, wow, like that's crazy that he was going to do that. Maybe you're supposed to believe that his practical reason was she shot the rest of the team. She's crazy. She has to die, I guess. But it was definitely more convincing there than
Mm-hmm.
any of the stuff with Claire or Saeed, where they're given like other reasons to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you never need the supernatural force influencing their soul or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, why even introduce that idea? It makes me wish they didn't bother with the sickness. if they're
it does seem like they're trying to close the book on it, right?
yeah, they're trying to close
But
the book
but
by
like they
making it
keep
worse, just
yeah,
like with the
but yeah.
cabin.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, let's finally put the sickness in the perspective," but like, and again, going back to Rousseau and her whole thing, first, words on the show about like the sickness
Yeah,
and all this whole thing and the idea that well, what the sickness really was Man in Black's influence on you. It's like,
yeah,
huh?
yeah,
But then how did the influence get on her if she had the sickness?
yeah.
You
Like the
know,
sickness is just making friends with the smoke monster.
that's but she didn't even make friends with Man in Black, like,
Who
right?
didn't?
Rousseau,
Oh, but
like,
she wasn't supposed to be sick though. It was her team that was sick.
but no, isn't that the reveal, right? If they're closing the book, right, they're recontextualizing
It
the
does feel that
beginning,
way, and yet,
right?
but
I think they're trying to say Rousseau was claimed. She had the
yeah.
sickness.
Well, in that case, it doesn't fit.
Well, because that's why they're behaving the same way, right?
But yeah, but I thought it. Yeah, no, I know you're right. I mean, that's the problem. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's the
Like that is
problem.
the implication, but it doesn't quite work. So it's like,
Mhm.
what am I supposed to believe there? I vastly preferred
What am I
like,
supposed to believe?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, yeah. It's a la
exactly.
carte. Choose your own dish here. It's all
Yeah,
it
like you
is.
tell me 5 different things, and it's like I just pick one, or like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't get it. I really want to rewind this whole thing, and I felt the same way about the cabin.
Never heard of
To
it.
season 4, Claire in the cabin with Christian Shepherd,
Mhm.
like the creepy cabin Claire, like to me,
Mhm.
was a way better portrayal of claiming
Yep.
than this
Yes.
bullshit.
Yes. Yes.
Like it was
Yes.
way more convincing that she's just like
1000%.
lounging, like, hey, lock.
1000%.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And it's kind of disturbing that she's like sitting in this creepy cabin with this guy who looks
Mhm.
like her dad, and then Locke shows up,
Mhm.
and then he's like telling him like instructions, and she's just like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
That
So
was
like, I
way better.
yeah, I miss that. I wish they had kept it with
That's the thing.
creepy Claire.
They moved it from that to needing to have her be doing something in this intervening time.
Yeah,
Parents not around, so now and then it just seems like a natural. Well, then she turns into Rousseau, but
right,
then we're starting to conflate the two, and we're not sure what is responsible for her behavior. Is it because she's just in the woods by herself all these years? She
right.
thinks Aaron's being taken by the others, and so she just naturally sets traps for the others and tries to find them and get her baby back. And that just
Yeah.
happens to be what Rousseau's thing is here. Like, is that just a coincidence? And it's separate from her interactions with Man in Black, because like, why did Man in Black even let her go on this fool's errand? This entire just to keep her busy, like, or
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
it
I think he says something later about that. It was like, yeah, it was basically to keep her busy,
keep her busy? Yeah.
give her something to do. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think there's a line about it in like a couple episodes, like with Kate, or it's like someone like confronts him directly, like, what are you? Why did you tell her that?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, she needed something to do
Something to do. Wow.
because she was all alone and whatever.
And then
You
we
know.
got the whole thing with
But
Man in
it's
Black
like
and
you
his.
took her, so fuck you. Like if you didn't
Yeah.
take her, she would have been on the helicopter like she was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I had to give her something. Like, well, you could have just not fucking
Yeah. Why
taken
did
her
you
in the
even
first
take her in the
place.
first? Yeah.
There's
Why?
no reason. There's no reason why he did that. It's so strange. I think that's another part of the story that never worked. I
Mm-hmm.
wish they had come up with a compelling reason why he took Claire. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would have made that plot line better as
Well, you
well.
know why? It should have been like they should have tied it into Jack
Yeah,
and should have
absolutely.
been like, oh
It
yeah,
seemed like it
my
was, because he was
sister is
Christian
on the
then.
island. Yeah, like I
Exactly.
got to go back for my sister,
Yeah.
but they crisscross the wires and like they made Kate go back for Claire,
Yeah.
and Jack go back like for himself. Yeah, it didn't quite line up the same way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so we complained a lot about the on island stuff. Um,
Indeed.
yeah, which
Indeed.
I still
Yeah.
can't make my peace with the Dogan's machine and who's bad and why. And
It's really hard to do because it's super sketchy, and everything they tell us about it like doesn't really like turn into something that is coherent or that
mm-hmm.
we can actually like make sense out of. And the temple water thing and the resurrection like is an extra level of Saeed's story
Mm-hmm.
that, like you said, like that's why I came up with that theory at one point that Claire actually died
Mm-hmm.
in that explosion in season 4. Like I was trying to make it fit where it's like, oh, she
Yeah.
died and she was like really quickly resurrected. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why the man in black claimed her, like it was the
Yeah.
same thing as Saeed,
Except
except for the temple water stuff.
the tip of the water.
Yeah, so don't you can't I can't fix that, unfortunately. And I don't even believe she was dead at the time. So
Yeah, but no, that's a valiant effort. I really wish that could be made true because it would really fit into what's happening.
yeah,
And then just tell us Rousseau died too. Everybody died.
right.
They were all dead the whole time. Maybe that's it. See, I knew from the pilot they were in purgatory. I could tell. I'm just that smart. They're dead the whole time. Don't waste your time, guys. They're dead. Oh man, that's funny. Okay, so yeah, I was just gonna mention the Flash Sideways stuff. Yeah, the
Yes.
stuff with Jack, it works. It's dramatic. They play it well. You know.
I do think Matthew Fox is actually really good on this show.
Yeah, he's
Like
ridiculously
he
good
can sell so
doing.
many scenes
Yeah,
that like I feel like
yeah,
could easily be crappy.
yeah, yeah.
It's like there's just a lot going on with the face and like the
Mm-hmm.
way he emotes things. It's just really powerful. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
do think like somehow he's underappreciated as an
Yeah,
actor.
more like Party of One, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was like a huge part of like making that story work
Yeah,
because it really could have come off like an after school special if it was
yeah,
played
yeah.
weekly.
Yeah, and he's good at the nonverbal parts of acting,
Yeah.
and just reactions to things, and yeah, he makes like all those scenes work, and
Yeah.
which is hard for basically hitting beats we've seen before in that storyline,
Right.
that kind of story. So yeah, I think yeah, maybe he is underappreciated for the show, because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
especially for a character that can be obnoxious like he is sometimes. Like,
Exactly. I think that's part of the problem. Like people don't like the character
hmm
and it kind of gets conflated,
yeah,
with the performance, which
yeah,
it's
but it's
not
like
really the same
imagine a
thing.
worse actor trying to do this role.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would have been a huge
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Definitely. And I think, from the pilot, like he was really dialed
hmm
into that edgy quality that really is
hmm
compelling and powerful to watch. Like when he's like ready to destroy the lighthouse, it's just like
yeah,
he turns on that
yeah. When
part
he
of
gets
Jack, and
revved
it's like,
up, yeah, it's great.
holy shit.
Hmm
It's just really intense. And yet, like, I feel like the moment is like, from a plot point of view, it's kind of frustrating. It's like, oh, we just saw this place and now it's destroyed. And like
hmm
the whole point was just like to make Jack like know that he's important. And like that's
hmm
really all we get out of that. Like that's really frustrating in a way, but like he definitely sells the dramatic aspect of it, which I
yeah,
think helps a lot.
yeah,
I think this Flash Sideways was like a bit less fun than some of the previous ones because it didn't have those like
hmm
crossovers
hmm
really. Like we got Jack's mom, but like
Yeah.
Jack's mom's always been a weird character and not exactly like an emotional touch point for the show. So it's
Mhm.
like that didn't really count. And the Dogen, obviously Dogen is a new character, and I think that was kind of an intriguing thing to include. Is it opens up the door for possibilities about what's going on in Flash Sideways that weren't there before. But
Mhm.
obviously, we all know ultimately like that doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
Uh, but it also it didn't have the nostalgia aspect of like Locke and Rose and
Yeah.
Locke and Hurley and Jack and
Mhm.
it's always Locke for some reason. Anyway, I don't know why it's always Locke. But yeah, maybe that is part of it too. Maybe it's like Locke is dead, and part of what they're realizing with those scenes is like bringing the character back. In
Mhm.
a way, like it's like a quasi resurrection,
Yeah.
even though we didn't get our real one.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of why I enjoyed those scenes so much, and like this one didn't really have that aspect of it, so it wasn't enjoyable in the same way. But I do think they sold the drama as well as they could have, and it obviously hits like the key point about Jack,
Mhm.
which is what that's what I think Purgatory Boy. I think maybe that's what we called him. We had some name for
Yikes.
him back then. Like I do think that's maybe my only frustration with that plot line is like putting all this emotional weight on something that he's just gonna abandon and not care about in the end. Like it's a little disappointing that there's not really a follow through there because he doesn't really exist in a certain way, the way like a lot of the other characters do.
Mhm.
Like Dogen is there with his real son, presumably, you
Mhm.
know? So like that's a different thing than like I made a son so I could deal with my issues with my dad.
Yeah. Maybe this is Sarah's son. Maybe
Yeah,
this
no,
is the
I
baby
remember
they
that
would have had or something.
that is the memory that triggered when I was like, I think the mom is Juliet because I remember everyone thinking it was Sarah. And I feel like there's a reveal that I don't even think Sarah's in season 6, if I remember
Mhm.
right. I don't think she even rates for the Flash Sideways. Maybe she was already doing Modern Family. I don't know when that show started.
Mhm.
Um, she's like way better on Modern Family than she
Yeah.
was on Lost, for the record. I mean, I think that show like went off the rails at a certain point, but the early days, like she was good on that show. Anyway, side note.
Check out Modern Family this fall on ABC.
I I stopped watching about 10 years ago, but
Mhm.
wait,
I
that's
think
when the
this
show
is the
ended.
last
Anyway,
season. I think they're ending it this year or something.
it's not even over. Holy
Not
shit.
even over yet.
Oh my god. Sitcoms. Wow. They
Mhm.
got they got some legs, as they say.
Yeah, so the whole thing with David is weird. I think what's partially weird about all the Flash Sideways stuff is whatever emotional drama they're going through in the beginning just like gets short circuited by Desmond, and then
Right.
like it just becomes about everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nothing there can ever matter too much, like specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's always about dealing with stuff for the characters and then like moving on. And I
So
do think you make a good point that like part of it is about like making them uncomfortable so that they like have to deal with it and leave.
yeah, because that's what I'm trying to think of whose storyline so far has ended on a positive note, and I think so. Jax did
Yeah.
his in a positive note. Locke,
I feel like Locke's was quasi positive. I feel like Kate's was too. Like they I think they all ended on quasi positive notes.
okay,
Locke's like gets his job as the substitute teacher.
but he
He
meets
didn't
Ben though.
he well, yeah, that's true. And that does seem like it's set up for like a sinister thing, but so far, like Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Linus has been okay.
Yeah, and then where do we leave off with Kate?
Uh oh, that's a good question. Is she just like on the run again? I know she goes back for Claire. She brings her to that place. I think she's just I I guess maybe it was like she takes Claire in for the sonogram with Ethan.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
like she leaves her some money and stuff. Like that's like
Claire
a
gives
quasi
her
happy ending,
some.
I think.
Claire gives her some. Yeah, credit cards. Here, take some credit.
Claire gives her the credit cards. Is that what
Yeah.
happens? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because she's on the run.
Yeah. Yeah, right, right, right. She's still on the run from the law. But like, there's sort of like there's a happy ending for the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like what starts off as like a carjacking, like ends with like a little bonding moment. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of similar to the Jack thing.
Yeah.
I think probably Locks has been the least positive so far.
Classic lock.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's. I'm trying to think. Like, if I didn't know where season 6 was going, what would I be thinking at this point about the Flash sideways?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say with the Dogen thing. Like, I remember there was this whole theory that like it was this alternate universe, and there were these like watchers there, like who had to make sure that they like did something, and it has something to do with like Jughead, like
Mm.
I remember a lot of discussions along those lines because
Yeah.
like we were talking about it the whole time as an alternate timeline, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that like kept us busy
Yeah.
not focusing on the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Almost like Man in Black, what he did to Claire. It was.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So
That
you're saying we were claimed?
we were claimed
Season 6 claimed us?
and they gave us something to do. And yeah, exactly. And if I remember right, they even go so far as to have Daniel Faraday like have a theory where he's like,
Yes.
"Oh my God, I think I created this universe with a bomb." And it's like,
I think I
what?
made
You
this.
don't get to
Yeah.
say that. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking bullshit. And then Miss Hawking's like, stop it, stop investigating.
Mm-hmm. We have a party to plan. Uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, she was like completely fine being in the Flash Sideways world.
She wanted to stay there. That was the whole thing they end on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I want to be here forever with my son. And it's like,
Wow.
yeah, but aren't you supposed to like deal with your shit and fucking move on? Like,
No, you can stay
guess
forever.
not. Just stay forever. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Yeah, okay. That's fine. If that's what you gotta do.
But then you have people like Michael who are stuck on the island being ghosts forever.
Right. Right. Whispering to people.
Oh, geez, so many
Yeah.
whispers.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with that eventually. That's yeah, that's not my favorite plot line. I yeah. In a way, I think they mangled that even more than they did the cabin and the sickness and stuff. Just
Mangled what?
because just because it's like even sketchier.
What are you talking about?
I feel like their treatment of the whispers
Oh, the
is
whispers.
is like even worse, or at the very least it's even less like fleshed out
Mm-hmm.
than what they do with the cabin or with the sickness,
Mm-hmm.
because even though those don't come to a conclusion, there is at least multiple episodes story development, whereas like with the Michael thing it's like, yeah, we're the whispers.
Yeah. Aren't you happy? Aren't you
It's like,
satisfied?
isn't that enough? Like,
Yeah.
what else do
Yeah.
you want? It's
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to
yeah.
see that scene from Michael's perspective when he first finds out that the dead are the whisper. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, it's been you guys whispering this whole time?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And just like, wait,
Yeah.
what am I
If
supposed
they
to do
really
now?
wanted to commit, they should have done a Ghost Michael centric episode
Yeah.
and like actually gone through like with a
Yeah.
flashback, like how, at like cut to, the freighter blows up
Dude,
and
you're writing my favorite episode I've never seen. Yeah, the freighter blows up. Michael wakes up on the island,
yeah,
and now he's trying to like
exactly.
find out what's happening. And then
Yeah,
like he uh he finds one of the losties,
yeah.
and then he sees some others like nearing them, and
Mm-hmm.
then he tries to whisper he tries to
Exactly.
warn them, and it's coming out like
Hey, run away.
whispers, Yeah, exactly. That's actually cool, man. Like he's shouting, but like
Yeah.
it's coming out as
What they hear
whispers.
is whispers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
realizes that he can't like interact with them. No one can see him because he's dead.
Yeah.
And that would have been a cool episode, man.
Definitely.
Wow, that would have been really cool to see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Instead of just Hurley like, you guys are the whisperers, right, dude? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I wish they because I think like the ending for Michael sucks, but so does Locke's ending. It would have been
Mhm.
better if they had a follow-up for the
Yeah.
character that was more substantial.
Yeah.
It would have made up somewhat for how shitty the ending was.
That's what
But
they
as
tried to
it
give him the thing
is,
with Walt at the very end.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but that's not in the show proper, you know. I
Yeah.
I I think like it that is better than nothing. I'll
Hey,
give
if
him that,
Michael
but
wanted his ending in the show proper, he shouldn't have shot Anna Lucy and Libby. Like
right. Oh
that's
god.
all I have to say about
Oh
that.
god. Oh god. Don't even. Anna Lucia doesn't even rate for the church. And Libby, I mean, she only gets in because she's +1 for Hurley. Like she barely
Yeah.
knows those people. Like, come
Mhm.
on. Like
Mhm.
they're going to the mat for Libby. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense,
No.
but like
No.
Libby is not a part of that crew.
Hey,
No way.
Libby's husband's boat is the one Desmond used. So
That is
there.
technically true.
So there.
I can't argue with that.
She may or may not have known Dave,
Right. Forgot about
or
that.
Dave may or may not have been her husband.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, Libby. Oh man, yeah. What are you gonna do with that? You
Yeah.
forget those characters.
Definitely. Yeah, so I feel like Michael having to like suffer for eternity or at least like a long time
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like there's a
Mm-hmm.
context, and all these other characters get forgiven for their
Mm-hmm.
context. Plenty of characters kill people and do bad things,
He
but
actually made up for it by saving the life of all the people on the freighter who
I
survived.
know. I know. Doesn't that count for
Yeah, and
something? Like
no
Jesus.
one finds out. Like Jen should be the one to be like, yeah,
Seriously.
we were there
Yeah.
at the last wire, down to the wire, literally the wire.
He
And
came through.
yeah,
Exactly. That's how he got off on the helicopter. And even
mm-hmm,
Jin survived. Like,
mm-hmm,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah, no, totally. Totally. Jin should be like a huge Michael defender. I don't think he says a word about it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, when he reunites with Sun, like that's what he should have said.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for Michael, I would have exploded on that boat.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Someone
yeah,
needed to hear that at some point.
mm-hmm,
Because yeah, I think they they barely knew
yeah.
that anything happened.
Yeah, and I do wonder with the people who are stuck on the island. Is it again one of those you're only as stuck as you think you are things?
Yeah,
Because I
I
feel like they
know.
could be like, well, you could leave anytime. You're holding yourself here, and like as a metaphor for what happened with Man in Black, like this whole idea that he's
Hmm.
stuck there, but maybe not really, and he's
Right,
been told he
right.
can't leave,
It's
but
a
maybe
mind
he can
prison.
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think like another thing that kind of bothers me about it, that where it gets muddled is like I remember he says to Hurley, like, we're the ones who can't move on.
Mm-hmm.
And, at the end of the show, when Christian's talking to Jack, they have him say, like, we're moving on, when they walk through the doors. Like,
Yeah.
Jack's like, Kate said we're leaving. No, we're not leaving. We're moving on. So let me just walk you through what that means. I'm sure you all followed. So what it means is they had not moved on yet when they were in the Flash sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, could they move on until they moved on? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just weird because it paints the being on the island as a ghost. Like, this is the thing you do when you can't move on. But it's like they couldn't move on in the Flash sideways yet either, right? Because that's what they do at the end, not what they have already done.
Well, he meant to
So
move on to the next part. there's
So there's
several
like two
parts.
movings on, if you
Yeah,
will.
it's a movings on. Yeah, I
You have to
think
first move on to the flash sideways before you move on to the whatever, the
yeah.
light or whatever you're supposed to do there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think like when you load a term like that, it's just weird that it means two things. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that's actually not that crazy for
Well,
a
it
show.
almost should just be like, yeah, I don't even know what moving on even means in that context when you're a ghost on the island. Like, how do you move on?
Yeah, it's like you go like, "Urgh," like I'm over it now, and then you just like
Mm-hmm.
pop into the flash sideways. Like, is it
Mm-hmm.
like that? Like you somehow come to terms with it. But it feels it just the thing I'm struggling with is it feels to me like the flash sideways is the same thing where they're dealing with their stuff that they haven't dealt with yet, and once they deal with it, they're ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So just it's like, couldn't Michael have just gone there and done that like everybody else? I know they wouldn't get their
Well,
whisper
maybe
answer,
maybe the
but
moving on, maybe the idea, and I'm doing a lot of work for them. Maybe the idea is when Walt comes back to the island and he's able to talk to Michael, then Michael will be able to move on after that.
yeah. I do think that is the implication. So
Yeah.
I guess in that way, but it's like I just feel like he should have like been dealing with Walt in the Flash Sideways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same way like Ben deals with Alex in the Flash Sideways, for example.
Mhm. Mhm.
Something along
Mhm.
similar lines.
Making sense. I follow.
Like, cause like, everybody dies sometime. I mean, even if Walt is destined to be the leader of the island, which I think might be true, and he lives for 3,000 years or whatever, there is no now here. And Hurley's there. So, like, why not Walt?
Because uh because Walt is not in the cast this season. And
Yeah, that is a big problem.
that's the big reason. Yeah. So what are you gonna do about that?
I
Yeah,
remember some
it's
podcasters saying that when they had the Anna Lucia cameo in the Flash Sideways, and
yeah.
like I forget who it is, like someone I think it's like Hurley asked Desmond, like, isn't Anna Lucia come with us? And Desmond's like, oh, she's not ready yet. And the podcaster was like, yeah, that means she's not on the show anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can't be in every episode, so
Mm-mm.
like
She's
she'll
not
just
ready
like
yet.
not be around.
She's still putting on her makeup, and she's gonna need a few more minutes. We gotta go now. Yeah, it's really all over the place how the Flash Sideways works.
Yeah, it's
But
hard to draw together. I can't make sense of Dogan being in LA either.
mhm.
Like that doesn't add up for me.
For the recital.
Yeah, but like he should be at a recital like where he actually lived.
No, but the son's auditioning for that particular thing. So you fly into town to do the
He flew
audition.
from Japan for that.
It's a
Damn.
prestigious whatever it
I
is.
guess it is. Holy shit.
Conservatory.
What was that? I
That's
guess
not
I
that
missed
great.
it.
Come on,
Well,
it's
what
not
kind
that
of
crazy.
prestige? What, they ain't got
It's a
piano school in
conservatory.
Japan?
There's
Come
no
on.
piano schools. Um no, I think that makes sense. That happens all the time. That happens all the time.
Okay,
Yeah. I
okay,
I, I yeah, I think that's
okay.
the kismet of it all.
We're
Like,
not supposed to believe that he's just like American in this timeline or in this like universe or whatever you want to call it.
no, I mean, I
You're just
think
saying like he flew in for
yeah, I
an
mean, listen,
audition.
maybe they live there now. Maybe they live in LA. I don't think it's that crazy. I think the kid, I felt like his son had like just a regular American accent. So if we're gonna get like
He
literal with the
did.
casting, then I would assume his son lives in America. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but who knows what reality Dogen's living in. Maybe Dogen's an absent father like Jack or something weird, and so like
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
lives in Japan, but his son
Could
lives in
be.
LA, and now he's
Yeah.
here visiting, and
And
it
he's
could be
like
a
dealing with that
whole
shit the same way Jack is.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
yeah,
it
yeah, it
depends on
could
what
be.
his whole
Yeah.
issue is
Yeah, you're right. You're
about.
right. But I
Uh,
guess like I'm just trying to point to the general thing of like they have to make the Flash Sideways function, they have to have everyone in LA. And like I just
yeah.
don't generally find that realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But not that like the Flash Sideways have to be realistic, but there is something just very contrived about it. Like Widmore
Mm-hmm.
is there, like all these
Yeah.
characters who are from around the world are just there, you know.
But I mean, in the real reality, all these characters from around the world just landed on the same island.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, but
it's
that's
really
different
this.
though.
It's really the exact same. It's actually even better the Flash Sideways because it's just made up rules.
Yeah, yeah, no, I clearly, but it's just like I don't know. I guess I just feel like the world should be more like spread out or complicated or something than it is. Like it's like they condensed it,
Hmm.
like the entire universe is within, it's like the good place or something. Like this is the only place or
Yeah.
dark city or whatever.
Anything else outside of this doesn't really exist. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't really leave,
Yeah.
It's like it has to be contained within this
But that
LA
actually makes sense to me
context.
as the construct, right? Like why go through creating an entire universe, multiverse of existence for these people when they only need a small sphere in LA to hash out all their issues, that's a lot
Right,
of processing power you're wasting. So yeah, maybe that is it. Maybe other nothing else exists.
right.
He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
say it's a
yeah.
place they made,
Okay.
so
Yeah, yeah, they did say that. They did say
mhm.
that. But they all get a say. I don't know,
Uh,
whatever.
we live inside a dream, dream, dream.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's
Don't
basically
face
what
me,
happened.
Cooper.
They basically yeah, Twin Peaks influence there. A little dream logic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Um, but man, there's so many worse episodes coming.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're still in the good part. Like
Mhm.
it's really like once the tempo goes down that everything just like slams to a halt. That
Yeah.
everyone's just like sitting around. Oh, I just remember another thing I wanted to throw in. Like this isn't whatever. Earlier on, you were like you were talking about Jacob,
Mhm.
and you were talking about um how there should have been a scene where he's like, "Oh shit, like what I've been doing isn't working."
Yes.
So, like, I was gonna say, like, they almost have that scene in Abaterno, with
Mhm.
Richard, like
Yeah.
he basically says the same kind of thing where it's
He
like,
says you need to get involved. Yeah.
well, if you don't get involved, like, this is what's gonna happen every time. Like,
Mhm.
he's just gonna kill them all or try to send them to kill you.
Yeah. Jacob's like, that's fine.
And Jacob's like, okay, so you'll be my emissary, and that's
Mhm.
his big solution. Like, I won't do it, but I'll tell you what to do, and then you can go, you
Yeah.
know. I don't think there's really follow through there. And the other thing that really bothers me about it is I don't think he says a single word to Richard this season.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the people that Richard, made to that he was serving as the emissary, to
Yeah.
from Jacob are the others who he doesn't give a shit about. And to me, that's just like he's just abandoning them to be attacked by the smoke
And
monster.
I
And it's
and I
like,
and I think if we're charitable, we could actually wrap up all of that you just said and actually give that to Richard as a reason why he feels betrayed, right? We could actually say that that actually should be why Richard is upset is because he wasn't told about the he basically, yeah, it's kind of like what you're saying, like Richard wasn't told about the candidates who were the only ones Jacob really cared about,
yeah,
and therefore Richard spent all this time, you know shepherding the others, which was the lot of people that didn't matter.
right.
And so you basically, he could be like, yeah, you just basically wasted my time. Like you made me basically sort of just a warden,
Yeah.
for this group of people who you don't actually care about. But I guess the slight degree there is also like when a candidate did come to the island, he can use the others
Right.
as a force to protect them or whatever.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I just yeah. So it's like I guess my point is, in one sense, it's bad writing. In another sense, it can work if they would have used it as the character's motivation and like a surprise to him. Like basically, Richard needs to realize that that's what happened instead of them pretending
Right.
like something else happened. Like if
Yeah.
he had pieced that together, like yeah, he told me to be his emissary, and he had me guarding the group of people who didn't matter at all,
Right.
and didn't even tell me who were the important people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I do remember he does get disillusioned. So yeah, maybe that's where they're going. Maybe that's. But I feel like it was something else he gets stuck on. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. That's coming up soon, so we'll get all of our Richard answers.
I remember hating Apaterno so much.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. It's
I remember that just really
looming on the
being
horizon.
horrible.
Yeah, I
So,
definitely would like knowing what it is. Like if you told me like before I saw it, I'd be like, "Sure, let's do a Richard episode." But now that I know what it is, I definitely
mhm.
would rather have that Michael episode. 100%.
Ooh, yeah, instead of the Richard one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
cuz I just
especially
don't think it
yeah.
adds anything valuable enough that they couldn't just do and throw away dialogue or whatever.
Actually, yeah, and maybe they could have that actually been perfect because they instead of like Apaterno, if it would have been a Michael scene or
Ab
episode.
temporario.
That's yes. Why not? Ab Gilto. Ab can't move on O. Um then it would have been you could have still had Man in Black be a part of it. And so when Michael
Mhm.
shows up as a ghost, right? This is coming off of him seeing Christian Shepherd saying you can go now or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
totally. They
he
could have
comes
picked up
back,
that thread,
pick up that thread, then
which is a
then you
weird
have
one.
yeah, then you have Man in Black
Who
telling
are
Michael,
you? That's his final words.
who are you?
Yeah, that's literally what he says. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
Cause yeah, who the fuck are you? Seriously.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, that would have been great in that episode. So yeah, and then you could have Man in Black giving Michael some like lay of the land, intro to ghost school type stuff. Where he's like, listen, this is what you can do, what you can't
Ghost school.
do.
Love it.
And he's like, because they're like in detention, right?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Um, it's
A really
like,
long detention.
yeah, it's like, what's the movie? Breakfast Club, but it's on the island and they're ghosts.
Oh man, it could get so confusing. Like, couldn't the Man in Black technically appear as
That's
Michael
what I was
as
gonna
well?
say. He's like, yeah, one of the rules of ghost school is like I can appear as you because like you died on the island. So I'm gonna use this form to torture people who care
Oh
about
my
you.
god, that would have been so weird. It makes me wish they actually did that.
Yeah, and then like it'd be great if like Man in Black appears to Michael as Michael. That he says, "What's the matter, Michael? Seen a ghost?"
Oh
I
my
mean, come
god.
on, that would have been the best line.
Oh my god. Oh man, I want to see that. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, that's the best.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would have helped, and yeah, and it helps with the Man in Black.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. And
Hmm.
the Richard stuff is such a waste of time. Yeah, seriously. Oh my god, it doesn't tell us anything new. It's just like, hey, go kill Jacob. The other thing that I already did. Like,
Hmm.
it's like, okay,
Go do that thing I'm known for. so
This
that people can
again?
know I'm known for that
It's
thing.
like nothing new. Like, yeah, that would have been interesting to actually like develop that aspect of the character and the world. Like,
Mhm.
seriously, and to give Michael like, if not his due, at least like more than what they actually gave him.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually set up the idea of what moving on really even means,
Yeah,
and in the
yeah,
context of on the island, but then that could have led to the context of the Flash Sideways,
yeah.
and potentially what they need to do there. They that could have been a natural tie-in. Yeah, yeah, wow. So we need a Man in Black loophole episode.
Yep,
We
yep,
got, and now we need a Ghost
yep.
Michael episode.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you could spread them out and they would synergize pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like the Michael episode could tell us the things that the loophole episode leaves out.
Yeah. Yeah, the Abaturno stuff, you're right. Like nothing there was new. And it didn't matter that we saw that happened to Richard. I guess the biggest explanation was that how Richard got his long life.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's like Jacob touched me. Like, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. Like everyone thought that as soon as Jacob started touching people, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's probably what happened. I mean, like, what
Mm-hmm.
else would it be? I don't know. Like, yeah, yeah, that was a concrete answer. But like, we also found out how the statue got broken.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
that's
of
right.
all the answers, like, I could have lived without that. I don't know. I mean, you got to make a decision, right? Clearly they're not going to do everything. They
Mm-hmm.
skipped a lot of shit. And just to me, yeah, like that stuff is more skippable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean how the Black Rock got to the middle of the island is a big thing.
Yeah.
I could see them really wanting to answer that for
Yeah.
sure. The
But they could have, so like it's a trade-off, right? Like they give us Michael, but they don't give him a lot of time. He's just kind of like cut in there. If they
Mhm.
wanted to, they could have demoted the Black Rock to exposition, you know.
Mhm.
Richard says, I came on the Black Rock. Jacob touched me. Okay, that's why I'm living for so long. Like, that would tell us the answers. That's how
Yeah.
the whisper shit comes off, where
Yeah.
it's just like, here's your answer. Like, happy
Mhm.
now? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Given what it actually turned into, like, I feel like it just wasn't worth the
I
trouble.
think if I think what they did is fine if they didn't leave Michael as a whispering ghost. I think having him being left in that position makes it seem like they need a stronger answer.
Yeah,
I think otherwise the whispers aren't that big a deal, and I think they addressed
right.
them
Totally
appropriately.
agree.
But
Totally.
it's the
It's the Michael
fact,
stuff. It
yeah,
isn't the whispers.
it's the fact that that's Michael's last bit on the show that
Yeah.
makes that unsatisfying.
Exactly. And I think Michael is you know, perhaps not in screen time, but just like Boone and Shannon or whatever, in terms of like emotional
Mm-hmm.
resonance, is a more important character than Richard is. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just rather he get that time, whereas we have to like find out this backstory about Richard and like his wife who he couldn't save. And it's just like, who cares? Like, this is a one-off episode thing. It's like, how much am I supposed to care about
Also,
that?
another reason they should have done a Ghost Michael episode in instead of Abaterno is that would have allowed Michael some redemption, so that he can be in the church at the end,
Absolutely.
so that he can be with his friends that
Yeah.
he formed a relationship with since season one,
Yeah.
unlike some other people we know.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, I think that would have been the other thing he gets screwed on. It's
Yeah.
just like, no, you can't come with us.
Yeah.
Like, the seat's
Yeah.
taken. Like, really, guys? Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
built two rafts for y'all.
I know, right? Like, damn. And then I
Yeah.
came back on a freighter, and then I'm
Yeah.
like whispering, and it's like, what more do you want from me?
What more do you
God
want?
damn. Let
Yeah.
me in.
Yeah.
It's,
It's super
it's,
weird.
it's like if, I don't know, Ben asked Locke, Ben apologizes for killing Locke. Why can't he just apologize?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like,
Because
clearly
he
they
can't
don't
move
think that
on.
like characters are supposed to be like beyond redemption.
Yeah.
There are characters who are just objectively way worse than Michael who get redemptions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if they're allowed to do that, like surely there's a path forward for Michael. Like he is so not the evilest character on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous to
Well,
even
Michael has
say.
to get redemption from himself first. Then he can get redemption from others.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We're the ones who can't move on. All right,
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you say.
Cool. Well, and then oh man, the package. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate times to come.
Yeah, I'm really eager once we're done with season 6 to go and rewatch the first 2 seasons. Probably just like on a loop.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah,
and imagine
yeah,
the show that could have been.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely the golden age.
Yeah.
They tapped into something and yeah, just couldn't really sustain it for so long.
Mhm. Yeah, where it's gotten to is so crazy by this point. But yeah, it's strange how they still don't have the sort of character stuff nailed down with like what's happening with Man in Black and Jacob and stuff. And
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I would think that would be more straightforward given they had the ending planned,
Right.
but it still feels really ad hoc.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's weird to have it feel like that. And I know the outrigger was another thing that they, didn't incorporate into the season and they said like it was just too hard to make it work, but it's like,
Hmm.
but like what you did was so awkward. Like I feel
Yeah,
like how
but that's
bad would it have
that's
been to
that's
throw in a
why I
random
think.
outrigger?
Well, that's why I think the answer has something to do with time travel, and it would have been so complicated to have to just have these characters on that outrigger without explaining how they got there.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think. Like maybe it was them in some other form. It was like some of the same people shooting at each other, sort of.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
it'd been like, because I could see them going, "Whoa, that's cool. How do we make that happen?"
Right.
But then going, okay, now this is too complicated, and now we're cutting between two outriggers with the same actors, and like maybe that would have been too much or something.
Right. Yeah.
But they've never revealed who was on it, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
maybe for the 20th anniversary they will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can only dream. I know someone I saw on Twitter, like Carlton Cuse had a thing where it was like, it was something like we're doing an AMA for the strain. I think it was for the strain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and someone replied, "What was in the outrigger?"
Nice.
or who was an outrigger or whatever.
Uh
It
huh.
was like, oh my god, I love that people are still holding a grudge about
Mm-hmm.
that 10 years later.
So he did. I guess he didn't answer that one.
No, I think it was supposed to be about the strain. Ask me anything in
Oh,
parentheses about the
about the
strain.
strain. Gotcha.
Stay on topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But the only thing I know for sure is that they did have a draft of a script where there was a scene there. And I remember on Geronimo Jack's Beard, like they promised that they would like read it, but then like it ended up like it got lost somehow and they never
Mm-hmm.
found it.
Oh,
And
interesting.
and they were just like, yeah, we think it was maybe Ben or something. And like that was the end of that.
Okay. Not quite riveting.
No, no, no. But it was. I remember at the time I was like desperate for my outrigger. And then I guess the other thing they did was in the box set, the like temple looking box set for the Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
They put a little extra thing where it's implied that it's implied that it was people from the Black Rock in the Outrigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That sounds
So
familiar.
that was like another attempt to like answer it with, you know, outside the show extra stuff.
Oh, for the like people from the ancient time of the Black Rock
Yeah.
happen to be in an outrigger.
Yeah, so like they're like I guess the idea was that like, you know, like it doesn't work at all, but cuz
Oh, this
cuz
is before the Black Rock landed on the island.
cuz
You're
they
saying.
no, yeah, it's wait, was the Black Rock? I think it was though. I don't know, I'm crazy. Yeah, I guess it must have been before they crashed on the island.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, like, and there's like this thing where like today we saw a mysterious boat with some passengers, and we exchanged fire, but then they disappeared. Or it's like
Oh,
something
I
like that.
see. I see. Okay. I could see that being a thing.
So that's yeah. I think that was their attempt to provide closure in a sort of vague way. But I don't think that's the answer they were going to do in season 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was going to involve like actual characters on the show.
Yeah. That would have made sense.
And you know the big clue that is that like the outrigger they were in like had an Ajira bottle by it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing at the time, like Ajira, like it was before we even knew
Oh, so
about the Ajira
maybe
plane.
could it have been that Locke, Man in Black Locke used the outrigger to go over there and kill those people?
100% it could have been, yeah.
Because he can't fly without water. If he could fly without water, would you think
What
I'd
do you
sink
think
it
I
over
told
there?
you?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely very possible that it's something like that. People thought it was like Alana and Bram, like that crew. Like there was a lot of theories
Mm-hmm.
about various people, but it does have to be the Jira bottle implies that whoever it was after the Jira plane crashed there.
Yeah.
So that's like some limit on who it really should be. Like it shouldn't be the Black Rock people based on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure they thought that through, but it wouldn't be the first time. Like, and who knows who even wrote that stuff, you know,
mm-hmm.
you know, I'm thinking about the Lost Diary, you know, it's like, ooh, they have my
Yeah.
brother in the Swan Station
I
or
see his
something.
shirt. It's his shirt. You're
It's gotta
keeping
be
him.
yeah, that was just like clearly someone who had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. They had no idea what the show was about.
Exactly. Like, I'm just gonna like write some fanfic and
Mm-hmm.
get it published.
Yep.
Like, cool. Good job.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Lighthouse.
Indeed.
Or Lighthouse, no the.
Just
Um,
Lighthouse, yeah. The
yeah.
Lighthouse is the other one.
Mm-hmm. Just for cats, just Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Um, next week is Sundown,
Here we
and
fucking go.
yeah, I think it's all sundown from hill,
It really is.
sundown from here, sundown the hill from here. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's oh man. It's gonna be tough to get through that one.
Yeah, hear ye, hear ye, ye leader is dead. Follow me, and I won't kill you.
Okay.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Do you
Everyone
have
leaves.
health care?
Exactly. Oh, you don't? Well, we never had it to begin with either, so nothing's changed. I love that. Do you have healthcare? What's the benefits package? What's the work-life balance in your organization? Oh, that'd be great. Man in Black has to lead like a new recruitment orientation. Everyone gets to ask their questions. Yeah, that'd be great.
When does a retirement plan vest?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now I already have one 401k. Do I have to get a second one, or can I? It's like And then how I
Roll
do
it
direct deposit
over.
is, yeah,
What's your matching percentage?
exactly. Oh man, yeah, it would be great. That's the show we want.
It's just like if they're not saying that, like why are they there? Like I just it's just so weird. Like like
Hmm.
what are you getting out of this if you're not even committed to the
Yeah,
cause?
I
Like
think that's what's weird is he, and maybe he does say, he intimates this, but he should have been like, "Come with me," and then like the whole reason that you're here it will be over. Because like right, the problem with the others is they don't have any external goal, right? They're not like trying to like leave the island or anything, right?
right.
So but once Jacob is dead, like they really don't have anything to do. Yeah, there'll be a new like leader, but like the whole paradigm is changing, right? So it should be like you know, Jacob has held you captive, trying to protect some of this need protecting. I will set you free. So like I want to leave the island. You guys need to leave too. Hey, follow me, and we can all
Yeah.
get out of here. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that could have made sense to me. And then but I still would have wanted some dissenting voices of being like, well, no, like he's the bad one, and remember what Jacob said, and then they go, girl, he's got free healthcare. We're gonna go over here. Um,
It's fine.
so yeah, it would have been nice for them to at that moment illustrate what their goals and wants are as a group so that we understand their behaviors. Because it just at that point just being like safety, like, well, we just don't want to die.
I think that's yeah. I mean, I think he says something kind of close to what you're saying. Like I remember some line that's like, "Jacob's dead. You're free now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm leaving this island."
Yeah.
Like
Did he? Yeah.
I
Maybe he
think
said
there's
that.
something like really close to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's just my main problem is what like number one, were they seriously being held prisoner there? Like they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't leave if they wanted to. They had a submarine for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically, they could have left anytime. And it's just was Ben or whatever Jacob holding them prisoners, saying like you can't leave.
Mm-hmm.
If so, why weren't there more defectors? Why weren't more people like running away? You
Yeah,
know?
and the thing with Dogen being in charge of the temple is weird too, right? I don't remember what we get as far as his relationship with Ben and
Yeah, yeah, they don't I don't think they really explain that at all.
yeah.
I think Ben like knows who Dogen is, so there's like an implication that they at least knew each other, but like yeah, it's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Dogen's like in charge. I remember people talking about it at the time because it's like the others in the temple are like in the fake costume others, and the others in the barracks are like regular clothes others, and it's
Yeah,
like
it should have gone back to two groups of others. It
yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah,
like
exactly,
the
exactly. But then
Dogen
like
Doge.
it doesn't really add up because Cindy was in the barracks and now she's in the temple, and
Yeah.
they're really the same others because the others all get taken to the temple. That's what Ben has them do,
Mm-hmm.
after the barracks get destroyed, and they're like, uh, well, not actually, it's not. It's after it's after they do the whole plot of like we're gonna go take all the pregnant women or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, like Richard, you take the rest of them to the temple, and we're gonna leave, and they leave. That's the episode Left Behind. They leave Juliet and Kate behind,
Gotcha. Yeah.
and that's when they head for the temple. So it isn't. It is the same others. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
there's like hardly any, but it should not be. It should be
Yeah,
two
they should have said
groups.
that when Ben took over and he got obsessed about the fertility stuff, that caused a rift between him and Dogen,
Yeah,
who was like over the temple stuff, and who wants to be, everything should be about what Jacob wants, right?
yeah,
And that could have been okay, cool. Then Ben's got his group that's living at the barracks and stuff, and doing all the stuff with the losties. But then, yeah, when shit hits the fan and they have to leave, then they can all reconsolidate. But yeah, it would have been nice to have some line like that. You know, to kind of figure out what the delineation was between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. As it is, it's just a big mess. I mean, like most things to do with the others, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just I agree. I think I could have lived better with them like following the Man in Black. Like for the most part, if there had been any defection at all,
Mm-hmm.
just the idea that like no, like
Yeah. How
someone
about
has to say
yeah?
no to this.
How about someone defects and is like, "Screw this! I'm gonna go grab this gun and shoot him or
Yeah,
something," and like he gets instantly killed, right?
right.
Like
Yeah,
something to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
to whip them into to line to. But again,
Exactly.
back going back into like who the characters are as others, right? And honoring like what they should be thinking and the
Yeah,
history
right.
that the show's told us that they have. Like, yeah, like somebody saying, no, I will only follow Jacob. And if Jacob's
Yeah,
dead, that means you killed him.
exactly.
And
That's the
now,
connection I want them to make. Like,
yeah.
and if even one of them did it, it would have been
Hmm.
better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, then at that point it becomes more of a threat. Anybody else want to speak up? Anybody else have a problem?
Yeah.
You
And then
know,
you
it's
go,
like
oh, okay. Then this totally makes sense. This group of people would follow along because
exactly. It's a
yeah.
totally different game, but it's they're just like shrugging, like whatever. Like okay, we'll just follow
Hmm.
whoever shows up. Like no big deal.
Hmm.
Like, really? No one's gonna say anything? Like, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And Jacob's like totally useless as
Hmm.
far as that goes. He
Yeah.
does jack shit like, oh, there's someone bad coming, but oh well.
He doesn't care. He's just like, it's too late. It's like, well,
Fuck him.
if you knew they were coming, then that
It
means
wouldn't
you
have
had a
been
chance
too
to
late.
stop him. Yeah, yeah, you could have said something
It's too late because of
sooner.
you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just because you want Jack to stare at the ocean? Like, he could have done that shit later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess he knows there's no candidates at the temple now, so he's fine
Right.
with that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do really wish I would have loved to see a scene where, well, Jacob, I thought you were hands off all these centuries. I lied. Whatever. And it's like going
Yeah.
into all the things he did to like get them to this point.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that would have been nice to see because it would have just helped his character. Um, you know, even like imagine Richard, in the in season 5 when like Locke comes to him and is like, "Go over there with some bandages," and then it's like Locke again, and and he like when Locke is time traveling, right, falls from the cliff or whatever, and Richard doesn't know why, but like basically this is part of Man in Black's loophole, right? Like it would have been great if Richard would have gone to Jacob after that point and said like, I just saw two locks, or something,
Yeah.
like, say something's up here, buddy, and then Jacob wakes up and goes, oh man, yikes, what's happening? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. Oh, Man in Black's invested in a loophole, I see.
Ah,
Okay, I need to be doing some things now. So
right.
even if he wasn't like doing things the entire time, you could have said, okay, here's the point at which he got off his butt
Yeah.
and decided to like do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Craziness. But all right, well, until next time.
Ah, indeed, indeed.
Thanks and
Can't wait.
namaste.
Namaste and good luck.